Okay, so if you handed in your sketch, I've already scanned it into App Scans. Um, I know they're double-sided, so when you click on the document, you'll scroll down, you'll see two different pages. In order to download your document, we go to the three dots in the corner, open a new window, and the download button appears. And it's either going to appear in the file will download to your lower left or your upper right. So I'm going to drag it. I already have Illustrator open. And it's going to ask you basically which page you want. So just make sure you pay attention to which page you want, page 1 or page 2. I'm going to say page 2, so I'll do 2 of 2. Okay, and there's your document. Now we just need to make sure it's facing the right way. So first things first, how am I going to just rotate the design so it's facing the right way? I'll use my black arrow. What should I do? Yeah, I'm just going to click in the middle of it and head to the little corner. I like to hold my shift key when I rotate it. Okay. And now I'll click off of it. What else do I need to rotate? Yeah, the artboard itself. Perfect. So I go to document setup at the top, edit artboards, and then it's already set to letter paper, which is perfect. And then I'll hit the little man in the rectangle box, the landscape one. And once I go back to my black arrow, I am good to go, which is great. Okay. I'll make sure I don't really need my colors right now, so I'll move these over. I want to make sure I don't move this layer by accident. So what should I do in my layer panel to make sure I don't move it? Perfect. That little blank space next to the eyeball. Awesome. So you'll see that little no smoking sign. So I can't do anything to it, which is fantastic. When we work on this project, we're going to build right on this piece of paper. And at the end, we'll hide it so it will disappear and you don't have to worry about any of your lines or if there's anything hanging off your paper or anything like that. So this square here will be your app icon, the thing you'll see on like the home screen of your phone. And then here are your two different screens. Today, I just want to talk about the app icon. Short, simple, pretty sweet. So I'm going to make a new layer, and you can name it, which most of you are really good at. So that's kind of repetitive. So I'll just call it icon. Bam. And for mine, I think just to make it easier, I made the icon square. You have the option to also use your rounded rectangle tool too. I like the rounded rectangle. I think it's a little bit more like the app personally. So I'm going to pick just like a blue because it looks like that's what she had. And what can I hold down to make sure it's a perfect square? Perfect. Thank you. And if you're not happy with like the roundness of your corners, you can hold your control, your up key rather. Yep, your up key or your down key, and that will adjust like the curviness of it. You can use your own judgment on that. I don't have really a preference for how rounded your app icon is. That's you. Um, it would be really convenient right now if I could like see through this blue just for like a few minutes so I could like see the picture underneath. How could I do that? Perfect. It's at the top here. Make it as light as you want. Or you could even keep it really light if you want. Maybe you want this blue for your project. And later that's going to be blank anyway. So feel free. If it makes you happy, go for it. So at this point, the idea is that you can either just stick with your solid color here. Some people may even want a gradient. I know most apps today don't really have the gradient as much, but I did look up a few. And occasionally, some of them will have a little bit of like a gradient to them. So this was a little bit more zoomed in. Let's chat about one of those. So it's up to you if you want to use like a solid color like this, or you want to have just a little bit of gradient in it. It's up to you and it's up to your design. But when we look at these apps, we don't have like a lot of empty dead space. They pretty much occupy the whole space. So if you're going solid color, by all means. If you want a gradient, you can like right where your color picker is, you can hit the gradient here and then double click on the colors to change them. Sometimes it's glitchy like today. You can even change it into a radial one. You can add another color to the piece here too. So right now it's a little glitchy and it's not letting me pick the colors, you can tell. Let's try that. Another thing you can do is you can use some of the standard gradients. Okay. And if your swatches disappear, which that happens pretty often, you can hit the little library here. And we have different ones here, like the default print. And you have some over here as well. Absolutely. Yeah. But for the app, I wouldn't recommend using photos from online. Just because usually it's just like a very simple drawing. It's something with a letter, a pen, something like that. But ideally you would double click on these dots and then the little, the color would choose so you could change the appearance of it. You could rotate your gradient as well to a different direction by using this, or you could edit it and use like this. Move that out of the way. You could use your slider too. So something subtle like that will give you like some nice options. Very little gradient if you're interested, but just a little bit gives you a nice option. Okay. I'm going to just go back to something solid because I think that's better for today. Okay. And then, of course, you can draw it as you need be. If, for example, you're using something that's like a specific shape, like a house is pretty straightforward, try and use like your shape tools as much as you can. Then you can go in with like your pen, your paint bucket, anything like that. I know it's not going to match up to your drawing, obviously, but that's really not an issue. I'll go in and I'll do like a little polygon tool, make it like a little roof. Oh, too many. Push my down key to get it back to a triangle. And I'll shorten my roof a little bit. Yep. No, you didn't need to color in the sketch. Nope. It's a little easier to draw it when it's not colored in. That's all. Yeah. Nope. That didn't need to be colored in. Okay. So yeah, you're supposed to make up a name. Absolutely. Yep. That's the goal. I don't want you to like copy, for example, this is overnight rentals. I don't want you to do like Vrbo or Airbnb. I want you to make your own name and design it your own way. Yep. So you're totally doing it right. So then we just continue with our design and we'll keep going, just basically drawing with your shape. Some of you I know had like a letter and you could use that as well. I know we didn't talk a ton about text, but if you need to just do like a letter, like maybe yours was going to be OR for overnight rentals. Blow it up. Go big with it so it's occupying like the whole icon. Bam, that's big. Yeah, maybe she wants that on top like that. Another fun thing, I don't go over this one a ton because this is actually what it's good for. But if you use the touch type tool, you could like work and make one letter bigger or smaller than the other, which is cool. You can even tilt it with this little dude at the top. Don't have enough room right now to tilt it, but you could do that. Shrink it down. So that will give you a lot more customization too, which is nice as well. Depends on what you're doing and what you need. See? I know we don't need text right now, so I'm going to delete that one. So there's not a ton of new skill here, really just reminders about the rounded rectangle tool and giving you some options about using your gradient. Okay. So how about just for today, doing your best to finish up the icon before you go if you're all done with your sketch. All right. Any questions so far? Oh, maybe one more tip before you go. Don't forget to just type the name of your app down here. So now my font is huge, so let's make it smaller, 20 point. So that way when we hide the sketch later, that we have the name of it there. We'll probably end up putting a description later too, but we don't need to rush into that. Any questions so far? Excellent. All right, let's get going.